and one. Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Anna Resnick. She's a mindset coach who helps you overcome mindset barriers so that you can gain clarity and take empowered action, in your life so you can move forward. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and helping us out today, Anna.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be here.
Excellent. Everybody has a story and has like something that makes them do what they do now. What was life like before you got into coaching, and what was the catalyst that brought you into this field?
Yeah, I would say life was very, if I were to give it a word, conflicting. Like I felt like I was being pulled in all sorts of directions. Before I was a coach, I was a product manager. And before that, I was doing software engineering gigs. So very different from what I'm doing now. But I felt like a lot of what I was doing then was an expectation that I had for myself and from other people to be this person and be this success that I thought I needed to be. And there was a lot of conflicting thoughts that I had going on, telling me maybe I was meant for more, maybe this isn't right. And I think that was the hardest decision for me, was to actually listen to that voice and take a leap and admit to myself that I was lost and I was confused and I was conflicted.
So can you talk about, there's a couple of things to unpack there. That was a lot, especially when it comes to our thoughts. Can you talk about, one, recognizing what your thoughts actually are and maybe what they mean?
Yeah, so recognizing your thoughts, I think the first step is awareness. And a lot of times we're repressing our thoughts because we're afraid of what they might mean. And I was afraid that my thoughts were greedy. Like I thought that maybe I wasn't satisfied because I was just always going to be wanting more and more and more and more. And I was so afraid to listen that I was just repressing it for so many years. And I think the first thing is the hardest step for, I think, most people, is just actually taking the time to sit with that thought, that emotion that you're feeling, and have a friendly conversation with it and listen and actually figure out what it is telling you.
Can you please explain what that means? Is that like on a journal, or how do you talk to the thing you're feeling?
Yeah. And I think what I've learned is that everyone has their own method. For me, it comes in many forms. Like I listen to my feeling through creative projects. Like sometimes it comes out in art. Sometimes it comes out in journaling and poetry. And other times it's just me talking to myself in a mirror, just saying, Anna, like, this is what I'm feeling right now. And it's okay to feel this way, but this is the truth.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with myself, but that's different than just looking at yourself in the mirror. That's really unique.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And that's just giving yourself permission to just acknowledge what you're feeling and be okay with that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times when you are in front of a mirror, or I think the typical scenario that I keep saying is that people will give themselves pep talks in front of a mirror. And the only con I can see with that is sometimes you're giving yourself a pep talk that you don't actually believe. Like you're telling yourself, you're not ugly, you're beautiful, you can do this, like you got this. When really internally you don't feel that. And if you don't believe what you're actually saying, you stop trusting yourself and you stop trusting your words and how they impact you. So I think the most important thing is to get in front of a mirror and be real and be honest and vulnerable.
Is that the same with goals too? Because that kind of translates to like affirmations, I guess. We kind of moved into that realm.
Yeah, 100%. I think whenever a goal is aligned with something that isn't truly coming from you, then later on, when you're actually trying to reach this goal and take steps towards it, you're going to feel this drawback and you don't know where it's coming from. But really, it's that dishonesty with yourself or this disalignment from your actual core desires.
Mhm. A phrase that's always around that I see like on just social media is the you who you are now is not the you who can, accomplish your goals. And they kind of use that to talk about transformation. Is like when you're trying to fix your life and improve your life, do you try and transform by moving forward, or do you get to know yourself now and then slowly over time do that?
I would say it's a healthy combination.
Mhm.
It just really depends on what you need at the moment. Because sometimes when you're taking steps forward, you realize that something in your past is actually holding you back. And the best thing to move forward is to reflect, is to look back and see why is this holding me back, and get curious about that thing. Other times, the thing holding you back is not really something internal. It's just something external. That's something that you can easily push out of the way. But it really just depends on what that thing is. Like, how is it holding you back? Is it holding you back from the past, from the present, from the future?
So, can I ask you this question? So, generally, when people come to work with you, what is the main thing that they are struggling with in their mindset?
The main thing that I see in my clients is overthinking, or the people that I usually work with are overthinkers. Like, they have a lot of thoughts in their head that are pulling them in all directions, and they don't know like what their thoughts mean, or they don't know where they should actually go. And finding clarity in that is what I help with. It's making sense of the mess. It's decluttering their mind and finding what is truly motivating them, and finding what they are at their core.
Okay. And, you know, can we talk about, so right now, when you're cooped up inside and you're not used to being with yourself, you don't really know yourself or like yourself, can you give some tips on how people can start to, develop a comfort with themselves and start to like themselves more?
Yeah, and I think that's a really good question in terms of the times with the coronavirus. I think a lot of people are realizing that they have all of this time on their hands to sit with themselves, and for some people that's really hard because for many years you've been repressing things that maybe you didn't want to be confronted with. And I think the first step, again, is just building that awareness of what are your thoughts, what are your emotions, what are they trying to tell you. And I think the simplest thing that you can do is start to track those thoughts. When are they appearing? Like, what time of the day? What are they saying to you? Like, what are the words that you're telling yourself, and the emotions attached to it? And just keeping a log of that will help you see a pattern. Because most of the time you don't even know that a pattern exists or there's a reason for it. You just think your feelings are feelings and they just come and go, but they always come from something.
How long do you keep the log for? Is it like every single hour of the day, or is it just for a couple days? Or
I think ideally until you recognize the pattern
mm,
that is within those thoughts or emotions. So if you're starting to become self-aware for the first time, once you start to notice what these thoughts or feelings are telling you, I think that's when you are able to move forward with whatever it is with that thought or feeling. So once you can identify what it is telling you, then you can either make a decision to act on it or to disagree with it. But if you don't know what it is saying, you can't do anything.
okay. How important is meditation? Oh, sorry, I was gonna say meditation, but How important is it to be able to quiet your mind, or do you like to be able to have a lot of stuff going on?
Yeah, as an overthinker myself, I remember hearing like quiet the mind, let your thoughts go, and I thought that's impossible. Like I have a billion thoughts in my head and they're always like racing at 500 miles per hour. And I think the better thing to do is learn to start to control your mind and your thoughts,
Mm,
because thoughts come and go like the waves of the ocean. It's just whatever you choose to continue to take up space in your head, that is what affects the results in your life. And learning how to, I think the first thing that got me into meditation was learning that you don't have to meditate to release all your thoughts. You can just meditate to be with your thoughts.
mm.
So if you want to sit in a room for 5 minutes and close your eyes and just let your thoughts come and go, that's just as important as someone that is meditating and clearing their head.
I don't know. The more you're talking, it's almost like it sounds like most people want to run away from it, from whatever they're feeling, whatever is exactly here. But instead, it's more conducive to start sitting and just really feeling it.
Yeah, and I think it also comes with um, like you see this destination that you want to achieve and you want to speed through all the processes that will lead you to that destination.
Mm-hmm.
But really, like the biggest impact comes from the smallest steps. It's the smallest things that are the most significant. So an analogy that I like to use in coaching, that I was also taught through my own coach, is that you're steering a ship. You're the captain of your own ship. And if you turn your ship 1 degree to the left or to the right, you change the entire trajectory of where your ship is going. And that those small steps are what change your direction.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this question. So here's a question that I always that it wasn't until I really started getting successful as a coach that I stopped asking the question WHY. Is that a big thing for overthinkers, or is that just or what's the main question that you like to ask?
Ask my clients or ask
No,
myself.
just in general. Like I always, oftentimes something doesn't go right. Like the light doesn't turn on. I was like, why is this light not working? Person cuts me off. Why did that person cut me off? You know.
Oh yeah, I think why is a big driver for why I do what I do.
Uh,
Like curiosity for people, for human behaviors and psychology, philosophy is why I'm in this career.
mm,
And I want to find as many or come up with the solutions, or not solutions, but have the answers to as many of those questions as possible so I can give that why to my clients. Because it takes a lot of mindset work in order to understand the world and see the world in that way and
mm,
know like what is driving us.
mm,
But I hope to give other people that why so they don't have to go through the same processes that I do.
mm. Okay, this is the like biggest question I just thought of. So, what happens if you find out and you don't like it? Would it have been worth it?
For me, the truth is always worth it.
Yeah.
And I believe that even though there's a lot of like good and bad in the world, like I believe at the end of the day, the core of every single person is full of love and full of curiosity. And I think of the world in a very positive way. So I don't think the truth will necessarily be something I don't like. But I do think I always look to expand and learn and grow because there's so much that we as humans are incapable of knowing.
Mhm.
The best we can do is just open our minds to whatever information is out there.
I just asked that question because that just sounds like a movie, kind of like a movie sentence, like an Al Pacino, Scarface type of. Now, let me ask you this question. Are you working on anything new? Any new projects, like a conference, a course, a one-on-one slots opening, some group, anything?
Yeah, so right now, I'd say my biggest personal project is actually my move. I'm moving from California to Texas,
Wow.
so very unrelated to coaching. But after that move, I definitely want to invest a lot more mental time into coaching and actually starting a group coaching program.
Nice. ETA of when that might be available to the people watching, and how can they go get on your wait list?
ETA of when I'll be designing and planning will be like mid-July, so people can start reaching out to me then.
Right.
And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Nice. Where can people go to either learn more about you, or where can they go to connect with you?
So everything is under my business name, Intentionally Anna. So I have an Instagram account where I talk all of my philosophies and my mindset stuff, and that's on at Intentionally Anna. My website is intentionallyanna.com, and my Facebook is Intentionally Anna. So it's very easy.
Very, very easy. Thank you so much for coming on and really giving that was a pretty fun conversation. There's like baby birds hitting my window in my office right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I've been doing it all day, but thanks so much. I really appreciate you today.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. And also, I really love your questions. They're very interesting.
Thanks. They're all new just for this interview, so very excited for them. But for those watching, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you found this extremely valuable, as much as I did. It's really important. The biggest takeaway I got from this was, being able to sit with yourself and being okay with either the noise or either the silence, and accepting really whatever you're feeling in this moment in time. Now, if you've been looking for a place where people are improving themselves and helping others to do the same, I recommend you go and check out our free community, either on LinkedIn or on Facebook. There's going to be a link either above or below the video, depending on where you're seeing it. It's basically a mastermind where people come together and support and uplift each other every single day. So if that is what you've been searching for, I recommend you go and check out this community by clicking the link either above or below the video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people can get some benefit as well. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. We're done recording in 3 and 2 and